What's up, guys? Every year, sports cards have a pattern. They go up and they go down. And you can kind of use that to your advantage. The biggest pattern that I see is as we approach preseason, prices explode. What I like to do is sit down at this point in the year and go through who do I think is going to benefit the most from that. Today, we're looking at quarterback markets and who I think is going to see the biggest value shifts through this offseason. Hey guys, I'm Connor. This is Cards and Canvas, and this is just a fun business that I've made surrounding my hobbies as a sports card collector and artist. So before we get into specific players and the market, I have a short story that I think a lot of you will relate to, and it highlights why this video will be beneficial for you. So last year, Anthony Richardson was coming into his sophomore season. If you remember, he was a rookie. He was balling out, putting up crazy numbers, like insane fantasy stat lines for a rookie. Jaden Daniels type stuff, I mean, really. But then he got injured. And at the time, he was pacing CJ Stroud for Rookie of the Year. Well, in the offseason, I was buying his cards, like some solid rookie cards for $15 that were at the time going for $50, $60. I mean, just great purchases. And as expected, preseason comes along and the hype goes up, his market goes up, which was my moment to sell. But since I was in so cheap, I thought, well, I could hold and see if it goes up even more. Wrong. Instead of making 300% on shiny cardboard, I lost about 50. And it was a good lesson to learn early. I think a lot of you will relate to that. We all have players. But I want to mention that early because if you only get one thing out of this video, the single point I want you to get is all this other stuff I go into is going to benefit you. They're going to be interesting things to think about. The one thing I want you to take away from this video is taking the base hit. You will never go broke taking a profit. But that nugget of wisdom does also transcend sports cards. So, hold on to that one. But learning from that experience of last preseason and missing that window of hype, I've adopted a much more flexible attitude where if I get into a card at a great price, I'm going to sell it to you at a great price. It just makes me feel good, makes you guys happy, and keeps the inventory moving, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, you meet a lot of cool people doing this sports card stuff. So starting out, you have to go through and you have to look at what the ceiling for the market is and what the floor is, okay? Obviously, Mahomes is the ceiling. He's kind of his own thing, so I'm not looking at him in this video. I'm looking at like Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen has the ceiling right now in the market. This helps me see where a player's position is at a market and like how people are kind of responding to them. I am going to go into like specific numbers and try to get some helpful graphics up for you guys. A lot of the sports card market is more off intuition and feel and hype rather than, oh, well, this player's worth this and this player's worth this. I just use them as kind of rough estimates, but you do have to go a lot off of feel as well. If you don't have that, just watch the market. You'll get a feel for it, but you can lose money if you're just going off of, well, Justin Herbert sells for this much, then Jalen Hurts has to sell for this much, and it's like, no, there's a lot of layers. We'll go into some of that. Okay, so for ceilings, who had a better season? Who had more hype than Josh Allen? Right? He won MVP. Good for him. In the middle of the season, I was buying his rookie optic cards I was buying his base rookie optic cards for about $80. Once he started leading the conversation and Lamar slipped behind for the MVP race, I sold them for $135 a piece. So you would assume that his prices went up once he won the MVP, right? No, they're still $135. You can get them for that price. Big tip is going back to the AR story. The market moves off of hype, not so much achievement. As for floor, I'm looking at a quarterback who is very talented, on a good team, has a good fan base, solid market. A player like Justin Herbert, who I think has a lot of potential, but in terms of accomplishment and hype, it's not quite there. I don't think he's going anywhere in the next couple of seasons, and his cards don't have a lot of room to go down further. So I think that's a solid floor for a successful starting quarterback. His base Donruss optics go for $15, quite a bit less than $135. So this is ceiling. This is kind of floor where I expect somebody to be in about And there's also no reason for me comparing the Donruss Optic rookies for the quarterback market, except for they fall into the price range that I like to play at right now. Silver Prisms are king. They're the most liquid. They go for a lot more. They are a little bit too high for me to go into right now with where the business is at, but they are a bit more collectible. So just worth noting. First player, Joe Burrow. Yep, I am buying deals for Joe Burrow. I like where his market's at. It's about right. But if I can get his rookie optic for a deal, then I'm in. I'm going to make a graph to show off the numbers, ideally. He had a great statistical season. Minimal actual achievement, missed playoffs. Price-wise, he's still a hair above like Justin Herbert. You know, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's in that MVP conversation. So his base optics go for about 20, where Herbert's go for 15. His hollows do carry a bit more of a premium, being 140 compared to 65. But if you compare Burrow to Josh Allen's market, where realistically Burrow could win MVP next year, right? With a bit of, I mean, they had a lot of close losses, and you see those teams succeed the year after pretty often. I don't think he'll make it all the way to 135. I'm not expecting that crazy of a jump, but you know, if you look at Burrow's optic compared to Herbert's optic, there's not much room to go down. With another kind of off season, there's a lot of room to go up to match Josh Allen's. If you look at the relative numbers between the hollow optic and the base optic from Herbert to Burrow, Burrow's base optics do seem to be a little bit more undervalued compared to Herbert. So that's not something I'm going to completely like just jump into and overinvest in, but it is an interesting observation I've had. There's lots that goes into that, like print runs, how many base cards are there out there? Draft capital, fan base, those influence it as well. Nerdy things to think about, but that's a glimpse inside my overstimulated mind. So yeah, buying Burrow for good deals. I'm in. Okay, next player. Brock Purdy. Purdy has rarity just because he was drafted last overall, which means his cards were supposed to be big nothing burgers in the packs that you open up. His base print runs are much less. There's less hollow optics out there. There's less base cards out there. And his market's very low right now because his team was shattered with injuries and drama all last season. But for a young quarterback, he's seen a lot of success, a lot of achievement. He gets dinged because he's surrounded by a lot of talent. If we compare his market to Herbert's, his base optic goes for $8 and Herbert's goes for 15. So even if he just goes back up to matching Herbert, that's a 2x right there. Boom. So yeah, I am a little bit more interested in going into like Brock Purdy's hollow market compared to, you know, his base just because it's so low. I think you can get into his hollows for a good price. Or if you compare his hollow to Burrow's going for 140, Brock Purdy's is going for $50 raw. So there's quite a bit of room for him to realistically move up in one season if he just really balls out. Again, you know, look at Josh Allen, look at Lamar Jackson. They're based on Donruss Optic Hollows going for $400. Anytime you can change, if you can flip shiny cardboard and turn $50 into $400, then you figured it out, man. I'm not promising that. I'm just looking at opportunity, right? Looking at where the value would be. So for Brock Purdy, I am buying deals a little bit more heavily than Joe Burrow. Reason being, Purdy has less room to go down and more room to go up. Burrow has a little bit more room to go down. I don't think he would even with another bad season, so it's a safer floor, but he has less room to go up. So another quarterback. Everybody, the talk of the town, right? Jaden Daniels. I'm fading him. I mean, for right now, I love Jaden Daniels. Great quarterback. Love watching him. Made an NFC championship as a rookie. That's absolutely insane. I'm actually working on another painting of him right over here. So stick around to check that out. But this is the card market. So I'm just cautious with rookie quarterbacks. They're very volatile. They're already hyped. The hype's baked in. So the ceiling's very limited and the floor is abysmal. So this translates from Jaden Daniels to Bo Nix to JJ McCarthy to Drake May to Michael Penix. Like, if you can get a quick flip in, yeah, sure. But if you're looking to hold for hype, it's already there. So if you compare Jaden Daniels' prices to CJ Stroud's from last year, very similar. There's a lot. I mean, it's high. But CJ just made the second round of playoffs in a second year again. Well, actually, this is a great segue because that's who we're going to talk about next. CJ Stroud, I'm buying everything. I mean, I'm buying CJ Stroud based on his optics for $5. What? PSA 10s have been selling for $30. That is insane. The cost to grade a card is $22. Like, we're saying a gem card is worth $10 more. Here's something. A Kenny Pickett Donruss Optic base, gem 10, sold for $20. You think this is just absolutely insane? I could end the video right there. Yep, just buy CJ Stroud based on Donruss 10s because they're going to go up. I mean, they can't go down. A backup quarterback is selling for $10 less. That's crazy. I just think the market got fatigued of him, a little distracted with the new shiny rookie, JD5. I feel like this is insane value, so I'm buying. There's a real chance CJ's in the MVP conversation next year. If he gets a healthy O-line, if the GMs make some good offseason moves, if the team's healthier next year, and I mean, minimum, I think we get back to Herbert's level, which according to the comps that I went through right before recording this, is a 3x. I think his hollows hold a lot of good upside as well. They're already close to Herbert's numbers, but if we compare them to Burrow's, if we look at a raw Stroud hollow going for $45 is what I'm buying them for, and a raw hollow of Burrow at $140, I think that's a pretty realistic outcome for going into the next season. I really do, especially if he's in that MVP conversation, man. And say he gets a couple big wins. Say he beats the Chiefs, or say he beats the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I think you'll see a very, very quick increase in what his cards are going for because people are into him for a lot. So the market's going to be looking to recoup on that kind of initial investment that's down 30-40% from last year. So, for those reasons, I think CJ Stroud, I think he's the best buy right now. People are low on him, but when the market zigs, I zag, and I just look for the upside, man. And especially when you could get a base rookie optic for $5, there's not much downside because worst case scenario, it goes in a $2 box and you get $2 back. So to wrap up, hopefully this video helped you guys just to see how I'm playing it. Leave a comment on what you agree, disagree with. I'm always interested in seeing that. You guys left some really good comments on my last video about shipping with eBay. And the channel as a whole has just been getting some incredible momentum. I'm really excited about it. I'm having a lot of fun. I think I could put together a similar list as this video for wide receivers and running backs if you guys are interested in that. Both those markets have their own kind of nuances as well. So I think it might be worth doing something like that. And then finally, if you've made it this far, which I appreciate, I'm putting together a spreadsheet of cards that I'm willing to move. My idea behind this is the card sells on eBay for $80. I get about $67 out of that after fees. I would rather sell these cards directly to you guys for $67 rather than dealing with all the fees and all that. So you get a good deal. I still get the same amount of money. I think it's a win-win. If that's something you guys are interested in, I would run it through my Instagram. You can make offers there. Just shoot me a DM and I'll get back to you. I will link that below. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. Let's talk ball in the comments. Let me know. Thanks for letting me talk your ear off. Keep collecting fun. See ya.